Hello, everybody. I hope everybody can hear me. This is Intuitive Retta. Good morning. I think I was supposed to go on yesterday and I completely forgot all about it. So I am here today. Good morning. Good morning. We're going to talk about some things. I wanted to go on Rumble so I can get a little bit more raw with it, but we'll see how this goes. And if I need to go into some more little details, then I will try to. Dang it. I will try to figure out Rumble. Uh, Hold on. I dropped the card. There we go. Sorry about that. So, good morning. Good morning. Nobody's probably in here because nobody knew I was going live. And today is Sunday. And I don't usually go or do readings on Sunday, but I'm here. So, there's some things I want to talk about. I know people were into, good morning, people were into what's going to be going on in the upcoming elections, what's going on. I just noticed in the mail, I'm not the mail, in the news that lawyer that I was talking about for months, again, I'm going to bring it up, that one lawyer down in South Carolina, that's family was very prominent, and his wife and his son was killed. And then all of a sudden he said that someone tried to kill him and it was really a setup, like he paid someone to try to do it. I told you he had something to do with the mother and son. And the son was on trial for like drunk boating, like he was, doing a boat. So we're seeing that's back in the news. Also, what else has been in the news? I wanted to talk about something very interesting, but there's nobody here right now. So I'm just setting up these cards. I want to say I'm glad to see Rakita Law is back on YouTube, or he didn't get completely. I like Rakita Law. I like Robert Gavay. I watch them too. So I'm happy to see free speech is still somewhat, not really free, but seeing that, I wasn't happy about the judgment in regards to Alex Jones. I think it's ridiculous. If you see me blow my nose or get some tissue, it's because even though I was sick before, now it seems like my sinuses are acting up. So I'm a little upset in regards to the Alex Jones. Almost so far, he's done two, and it's almost two trials, which weren't really trials, and it's almost up to $1 billion, which I think is absolutely ridiculous. It's like nowadays, if you have an opinion or some thoughts, you can't even, someone can sue you for it. Mind you, Alex didn't kill those children. I feel bad for their families. Alex didn't kill those children, so for him to pay $1 billion, which is more than almost any other company that's been liable for actual deaths have paid, like the pharmaceutical companies, like companies that haven't really took care of employees and employees got blew up or burnt or something like that. They didn't get any of that type of money. For someone who lives in a different state, no matter how many people watched his thing, I think that judgment was completely um, asinine. I think this whole justice system is now becoming asinine. Um, so that's my whole thing on Alex Jones. I did a reading on him a couple of weeks back. Good morning. Good morning. I did a reading about him a couple of weeks. I hope you guys can hear me. Can you hear me? A couple of weeks back, and I just have Alex in my prayers because I don't think that woman that he's with is is the best. What else have I was watching Tori Says, and she was showing the behind the scenes, like the HBO information in regards to January 6th. There was some people, mind you, Trump was still talking, right? And so he was still talking. He had still like an hour to go, and there was people already at the Capitol, right? But it was interesting, some of the people that were at the Capitol. Hello, how are you? It was interesting. And Tori had circled some people. And it was interesting. How did they know? Like Sav says, she was already at the Capitol. Elijah Schaefer, which they just took off of. He was on the same, what was on Glenn Beck's kind of channel, and they just fired him for like sexual misconduct in the workplace or something for one of, I guess, at the premiere of Coon 2, or is that what that's called? Coon 2? He a co-worker, he grabbed her breast. That's what I read. Elijah Schaefer was there. Elijah Schaefer, I believe that was Elijah Schaefer standing next to that old man. Who was that old man? The one that his picture was everywhere, but he didn't get arrested. What was his name? Oh, see how my memory is? I can't think of his name, but Elijah Schaefer was standing right next to the guy. Then you seen, who else was there? I seen Sav. I've seen Elijah Schaefer. I seen Owen Benjamin from InfoWars. He was there. Who else? I seen a camera crew. So not only did Pelosi, who was the camera crew that was already upstairs in Nancy Pelosi's office when she wasn't there, when they were busting through the window. There was pictures of like a camera crew watching them bust through the window. So that was interesting. They still want to do this whole January 6th thing. I think it's a joke. It's a distraction. Everything is a distraction right now. I'm waiting for, hopefully a few more people will realize that I'm on. I know I didn't. I thought it was, I had my days mixed up before I go into the whole Congress. So, hi, Michelle, if you're still here. But yeah, so I see that they want to make this a big thing. I seen that they subpoenaed Trump. It's interesting. I hope they do it live. I think that will be very entertainment. I think the whole Steve Bannon thing, getting 4 months in jail or 6 months in jail, is absolutely ridiculous. I think this whole thing is ridiculous. I just seen that they're trying to force our children now to take this COVID vaccine. This is what I wanted to talk about too. I think it was yesterday or the day before is when it came out that the CDC, mind you, I'm a retired nurse. I'm no longer registered, so I could talk about anything. I'm not giving out health advice. I'm not registered anymore. Out of the 3 states I was licensed in, I'm retired. I'm not if you look up my license, it says not active because I'm not registered. I don't think that we should be giving it to our kids. That's my opinion. I see the teens and the young adults, especially males that have been getting it, have been dropping like flies with heart attacks all over. You've seen athletes just dropping crazy. And it's something that deals with your DNA. It's an mRNA. So it's part of the building blocks to your DNA. No, I'm not taking this. I'm not taking it. I'll take my chances. And to force the kids, which you've already said from the beginning that the kids are not as susceptible to get it, right? And they have a stronger, I've had COVID, you know what I'm saying? It was tough, but I got through it. For kids that have, I think that they would be able to, I didn't believe in giving out the chickenpox vaccination either. I was one of them, like, why are we getting the chickenpox vaccination? It's not like chickenpox. I got the chickenpox when I was young. So I'm hoping, Michelle, people come in. I didn't let anybody know I was trying to let a couple more people come in so we could talk about these upcoming elections that everybody wanted to talk about. And we could do the read-in. And I wanted to do read-ins on other things, but it's just me and you here. So do you think Lee? Who's Lee? Lee Zeldin? I hope so. Most of New York State is red. The only ones that aren't red is Buffalo and New York City. Most of the state is red. Like, you'll see, if you look at the map, you'll see, but like New York City is the most populated area, so their votes count more than ours. But that Horsel, is that her name? Horsel? She's crazy. And she's putting it into law to do these things, but she was never elected. People elected Cuomo. They didn't elect you. So for her putting in these laws, and I believe they still have mandates in New York City, or they redid a mandate. I think my son said that they have a mask mandate in New York City. Oh, Gavin Newsom. Lord. Could you imagine him as a president? I think people voted for him because he was nice looking. I think they really did. I think they voted for him because he was nice looking. But, Lord. I remember when I used to live in California, it was a red state. I don't know how it became so blue. When I grew up, it was red. Like Ronald Reagan came from California. Yeah, when I grew up, it was a red state. It was a very conservative state. And now it's like, I've seen people doing videos. I can't wait until I get my van or my B plus vehicle, and I'm on the road, and that's where I live full time. So I can just go and explore, United States from here to there. And I want to look at what because seeing has got to be believing. I've seen some people showing I remember what Watts looked like when I was young. And it's like 50 times worse than when I was young. My oldest sister is from Compton, and it wasn't, when she grew up, it wasn't bad. Compton isn't the same as when she grew up. I knew when I grew up, Compton was a little rough. I knew when I grew up, I remember living in Walnut, right? I lived up on the top of the hill in this big house in Walnut, but we had to go to school in the hood, right? I believe the high school is Nogales High School, if I'm not mistaken. My memory is bad, but we had to go to school in the hood. So we all lived Walnut, and then right halfway down the hill was Baldwin Hills, right? So we had to go to school in the hood. And I remember having to deal with gangs in school and walking home from school and having to worry about what we were wearing, whether we were wearing red or blue, just walking home. Usually we took the bus, but if we did like extracurricular activities, like, I used to run track, and I used to do the shot put. I was the state champion in shot put when I was young. And when we had to walk home, we had to deal with the gangs. You live in OC? No, see. So yeah, so I lived in Walnut. I lived in La Puente. I lived so many places. My sister, she still lives. Well, now she moved. She got me. She was from Rancho Cucamonga in Altaloma. I lived in La Puente, right down the street from my elementary school. Was Temple Elementary School. I went to Temple. I was the only person of Black, as you can say, person that went to the school, and I was half and half. I was mixed, but I was a lot darker than I am now. I was about 4 or 5 shades darker than I am now. I was more of a golden color in California. New York just kind of washed me out. I lived on Crenshaw Boulevard in La Puente. I lived in El Monte, Van Nuys. I was in a group home in Van Nuys when I was little. When I was 11, I was at David and Margaret, which now they take boys. Back then it was only girls. But now I heard they take boys now, which is, I think, is a little weird. Where else did I live? I think that's probably about all I used to live. I used to live in the foothills too. So there's two people in here. So I don't think that many people. What does people want to know about what's going on in the midterms? Are we ready to get into that yet? Or is there any other questions that we want to get into? Let me see if Zeldin, because I brought my little Kindle here. So let me look at Zeldin's birthday so I can see what energy he has. Did I ever look up Herschel? I don't think so. That crazy lady. That crazy lady. I want to start doing lives on Rumble, but I haven't figured it out yet. So I can get more controversial on Rumble. I can't get that controversial here. Can you guys hear me okay? Michelle, can you hear me? So let me look up Lee Zeldin. And they try to kill Lee. They try to stab him. You can hear me? Okay. Because I don't know where any of my my microphones are. Lee, please let him have a alpha birth card, Zeldin birth date. Don't let him be a freaking high priestess or empress, please. We need some January 30, 1980. Wow, I'm 5 years older than him. Let's see. 13080. And then let's see what this Herschel. Let's see. I think that's her name. What's her first name? Kathy. Is that her name? Kathy Herschel? If your company tells you to get vaccinated, that's the one to get. Man, listen, see, that's one thing I'm glad that, well, I want to talk about this because I think that they got nurses, healthcare providers with the whole thing years ago, and they already pre-programmed us to accept this crap. And I was talking and I wasn't complying. So I probably would have fired if I didn't retire from nursing. I probably would have been fired from every job because I wouldn't have went along. I want to get into how I feel like they pre-programmed nursing and nursing kind of laid down and took it. And if you can get the healthcare providers to go along with your bull crap, then you can get the regular population to go. But I'm going to get into that. But let me just find what is our this lady's name? Herschel. I don't know what her name is. Let me just see what her birthday. Kathy Herschel. Okay. Hold on. It might be here in the air. You hear it seems like every time I go on live, it's the dang fish tank. It's weekly. No sooner I put water in there, like 3 days later, it's down. Let me just see. Birth date. Let's see this crazy lady. I don't think I ever looked up her. I might have. Okay, so Kathy is. Remember, election year, I'm worried about our elections because guess what month it's in? It's coming up and it's in the Hermit and the Moon. Ugh. So hers is August 27th, 1958. Okay. So how I was saying, let me just do this real fast and then I'll talk about how they got the nurses to do it. 8, 9, 10, 11, 10, 2, 4. He's an emperor. Thank you, Lord. So Lee Zeldin is an emperor. He's got that Trump energy. He's the emperor. Let's see what this year is for him. 2000. What is it? Is it 2022? 3502 8 9 10. This is his magician year. It's within his possibility. If he focuses on it enough, he can be or do whatever he wants to do. It's up to what he's if he feels like he's gonna lose, he's gonna lose. Let me check this heifer. 8, 27, 58, 16, 17, 18, 19, 21, 22, 23. 7, 8, 9, 9, 10, 19, 20, 21, 22. Ooh, she's an emperor too. Oh, she has that masculine energy. I hope I did her numbers right. 16, 17, 18, 19, 21, 22, 23. Hopefully I did. Let me just see. I'm here doing it real quick. Let's see. 15, 17, 5, 0, 2, 12, 13, 14. Hierophant. We already seen her energy. The Hierophant, law and order coming down on her, which she did with Cuomo. So she's in that authoritative energy. 23. The problem with him is his is the high priestess, 223, Hierophant, lovers and devil. I hope we don't have her next year because she's in her lovers and devil. So they're both emperor, but who wants what has to go for her against him is that people really don't like masculine females. Like, it's not like they don't like it, but it kind of turns people off, to be in the public eye and be so aggressive. There's masculine females um that can use it to their advantage. But if you don't realize that you're an emperor and you have this masculine energy, and you don't know how to turn it off and on, people are going to get very, very discouraged. You're going to turn them off. So between him and her, they didn't even have a debate, did they? I don't think they had a debate. You went to Pomona? I used to go to Pomona Fair. That's as close to Pomona I used to get, was to the Pomona Fair. I used to love it. We used to get those Ginzu knives. We used to go there just for the Ginzu knives. So, well, look, let me just see between them two. Let me see, what deck do I want to use? Let's see. What deck? Okay, we'll do this one. Hold on. So let me just look at them. Oh, so I wanted to talk about how, see, I get distracted, how they kind of con nurses into, forcing these, because back in the days, it went where back in the, remember the flu shots? The flu shots years ago. I had one, and that was enough for me. I got deathly ill. I worked at the VA hospital. I took the flu shot once, and that was more than enough for me. I ended up getting bronchitis, an upper respiratory infection, fluid in my ears, a double ear infection, a sinus infection, bronchitis. I was so sick. And at the time when I worked at the VA hospital, we had an employee health. And they didn't send you home. What they did was you go to employee health, they call the pharmacy and they used to send meds up to you on the floor. And you would take medicine and you would still be at work. So that was the first and last time. So I vowed never to take it again. So it went in the different facilities as they offer the employees because the elderly, especially in nursing homes, they give these elderly people the flu shot. And I used to notice, I used to look at the elderly like, why are y'all taking these flu shots? Because I always noticed that when the flu shot came, more of the patients seemed to pass away after the flu shot. But that was just my opinion and my observation. But I didn't want to take it. So then they had the staff, they started offering the staff a flu. Some people did it, some people didn't. It wasn't forced. It seemed like the year that I got hurt for the second time when they kind of retired me, the year after that, it was mandated for people to take the flu shot. See, right there, I would have been fired because I wasn't going to take the flu shot. First of all, the flu shot is a guess. They don't know what flu, what virus. First of all, you can't make it's. You know how hard it is to make something against a virus. A virus is so tiny and so minute, and it changes every year. You can only guess, maybe this year I'll have this. So it's all a guessing game, this whole flu vaccine. So then they started mandating people to take it. And if you refused to take it at that time, you had to wear a mask the whole time you were at work. So this was years ago. This is like 2010, 11. the nurses was going for. First of all, we all know with the mask, a virus is so small it can go through a mask. It makes no sense. I can see if you're taking the mask because you have a cough and you don't want to cough from someone directly, but after you cough, you have to take off the mask and put it on. Because with the regular mask, you can only have it on for like 15 minutes and then it's no good because you're breathing in it and your condensation from your mouth is breaking down the mask. So therefore it doesn't work anymore. And then if you get even the tuberculosis map, you can't wear that all day either because you're breathing in it and the condensation of you breathing is breaking down the fibers of that mask. So I don't understand how the nurses just went along with it. Now they were okay with it. They got forced to get the vaccine or you were going to get fired. Instead of nursing all going out and the nursing, what do they have of the nurse, not agencies, but the nursing, I can't think of it. Where people put money in and they're like a group of can't think of it. Instead of them all coming together and saying, hell no, you're not gonna, make us take this flu vaccine because we all know it's freaking caca. It's not real. And so maybe it helps some people, but it's a guessing game. They were fired for not taking the flu vaccine. And they just went along with it. First, they went along with it when it was mandated. And if they didn't wear it, then they had to wear a mask. And then it went from there to you get fired if you don't take the flu vaccine. So then here comes COVID, right? And it was all fine for the healthcare providers and stuff to work and the doctors and the nurses and the police to work when there was no vaccine and they didn't even know what it was. I remember back in the days when HIV became real strong and we didn't really understand HIV back then. And I remember, we were working and it was like Russian roulette. We didn't realize, what was going on and how we were going to. So for all these nurses and doctors to not really understand, they had an idea of it's a virus. So when it's a virus, mind you, back in the days, about 2000, maybe like 8 or 9, 10, they stopped. We used to have different things where if a patient was contagious, we would have different a stop sign on their door and what stuff you had to wear or whatever before you go into it. They were under quarantine basically for different things. Like we had it for C. diff, for MRSA, MRSA, for VRE. We had these different things. But then a law came down that you can't do that anymore. That you had to treat everybody. You had to treat just universal precautions. You couldn't stop people or tell people don't go in there. You had to treat everybody the same. So we had to stop wearing all the masks and all these things to go in these rooms and so forth. The universal precautions was supposed to be, what helps everything, which I thought was crazy. But so when this COVID now, the nurses was working when nobody had no vaccine. Nobody really knew it was okay for them to put their lives on the line for that. But see, the nurses forgot. Remember that saying, you didn't speak up. When it happened, you didn't speak up. You let them keep doing it. Now the COVID came, and now they have this vaccine that we're seeing is not doing what they're supposed to be doing. It's not. They're saying on Congress floor that it doesn't help prevent transmission. So now you're forcing people, or you have to lose your job. And that's because you agreed with the damn flu vaccine from the get-go. Anybody get where I was talking about? I was just rambling, but so they were okay with it. And so now the government's like, yeah, that was just our first little thing. We can force a certain amount, the state can force a certain amount of people to take a flu vaccine. We can force them. Mind you, most of the nurses know that it's a guessing game. And they went along with it. Hey, Lauren. Alice. I won't take the flu shot ever again. So let's look at for this upcoming election. Herschel, we're going to do on top, and Lee Zeldin on the bottom. How is this election going to go for Herschel? How is this election going to go for Zeldin? So remind me, Zeldin's on the bottom because you know my brain. Herschel's on the top. She's getting paid. Her foundation is strong. She has a stronger foundation than he does. I haven't looked at his cards, but she's making a lot of money. She's making a lot of money and she's getting a lot of power. And her foundation, she has a firmer foundation than what he has. She has a firmer foundation, which the power set is. Let's see about him. I see, remember I said we're going into next month is the Hermit month, right? Look, it comes up for Zeldin, the Hermit. So next month in this election is the Hermit. So we're seeing this as, and then the Devil. I think that there's forces working against him that he's not going. I think her power base is so structured that, and she's paying money and she's getting money and she's part of that power. You know, anybody who's in here, 8 people, put up the thumbs up so we can get in the out. You guys know my other channel was demonetized. This one's not monetized, so the algorithm for me is off. So any of these little thumbs up help. And I see that there's a lot of things going against Zeldin. So from this alone, it looks like Kathy is going to win. I don't want it to. Are they playing tricks with Zeldins? There's not going to be any law and order when it comes to the voting for this. So there's no law and order. You see, the Hierophant is upside down. There's no law and order. Anything goes. Her power base, whatever base she has, the money that she put up and the whatever she's given out physically, her power base is solid, is strong. Even though nobody ever voted for her, I didn't even know who she was a year ago. I didn't have no idea who this woman was before Mario Cuomo had to resign. I had no idea who she was. But I don't think he's going to win. The momentum's, I don't think he's going to win. Oh, I think they're going to be doing some shady shit. So I don't think he's going to win. Even if he does win, he's not going to win. You understand what I'm saying? Like we all know back in the days, Trump won, but he didn't win. You get it? So also, did you see? I find it interesting the new picture of Trump that's been going on. I've been seeing all over the place with Trump, and he's on the throne like an emperor. Mind you, remember, he is the emperor, and he has 2 lions next to him, which is the strength card, right? The year of 2024, that's the strength year, which is the 2 lions. It's interesting. There's things I see, see, this is the image they're putting out. So it's trying to make me understand, people play with symbols. Yes, that's what I'm saying, Lauren. Me too. I'm like, no, but it looks like her power base. She's that this year that she's been in office, she's secured her power base. And don't mind me, I'm drinking this cherry Pepsi. I used to only drink Coke, but then when Coke did something, I forgot what they did. I don't know if it was the CRT or whatever. I stopped drinking Coke. But I needed this pick me up. All right. Hi. Hello, everybody. So I don't think Zeldin's gonna win, and I'm so upset. I think they're isolating him. I think there's some shady stuff going on, and I don't think there's law. I don't think the correct anything correct like is not going in his favor, meaning that I think laws and stuff are going to be broken so he doesn't win. I don't know. Oh, I'm so upset. Okay. Good morning, everybody. I'm here. I'm so happy to see my Alice. And Alice, I still ain't been out the house since I've been sick, and I still have it sitting here. So I promised my best friend, because I have a bag of stuff that I have to send her to. And I promised her that sometime in the week of the 3rd, I'm going to get to that damn post office. See if my brother-in-law, nobody lets me drive anymore. So that's the problem. When I get my little van, I'm telling you guys, that is my goal, is to get one of those little RV vans or B plus van and be on the road and just be exploring. Because I would love to see what's going on in these cities, because I'm nosy like that. I want to see what the country has to offer. I want to see what these cities, I want to see what different people are experiencing. That's what I want. DeSantis is moving away from Trump. Well, we'll look into the cards, but DeSantis won because of Trump. See, people forget where their bread's buttered. DeSantis has done a lot of things now that put him forth, but he's still working on, he got in because of Trump, and he's still using the Trump agenda to continue to go forward, like the American First. I want to be a van girl. I want to be in the van. That's my goal. That's what I really want. I don't want to be in a house no more. I just want to be in a van, and I just want to live my life and toot and come see all you guys and visit and see what United States has to offer. Then I'm nosy. I want to see what the border looks like for real. I want to go and see what San Francisco looks like. I want to go and see what Portland looks like. I'm nosy like that. And then I want to go in the country and relax and enjoy the country with my little metal detector. So I want to just go out and just explore. And I can paint, and I'm bringing my sewing machine along, which people are asking me what I've sewed lately. I'll show that on my other channel, and I have started painting again, and I'll show what I was painting. I got to finish that today too. So, I wonder, and Kathy's already with the CV shop for kids. She's already behind it. So that's what I'm worried about. That is what I'm worried about. I'm worried about my grandson. I would rather, but I don't have any say. But if I had kids these days, and if it was up to the shop, or for me to teach at home, I would teach at home. That's just me. Don't be messing with my RNA, which is the building block to your DNA. That's too much. We don't know what the long-term ramifications are going for that. No. I got Governor Grover's disease after. I'm telling you, I ain't messing with that stuff. Who was it? I think my daughter, for a year afterwards, and she's a nurse, she felt horrible. She said she thinks something happened to her with that thing. So I don't know. And my son took it. He got COVID after he took it. So I don't get it. Okay, so let's see about the Senate. And let's see. How are the Republicans and the Democrats? So I'm going to put Democrats first and then Republicans second. Just help me remember that, just in case my memory forgets. Democrats first and second. Okay. How are they? We're going to do Congress first. How are they going to do in Congress? Democrats in the upcoming election. Think in Congress we're going to win, but there's going to be a lot of games being played, mechanisms played. There's going to be a lot of games being played and mechanisms being played, but eventually we're going to win the Congress, right? And Republicans got to start making up some choices now, what they really are. That's why we need to start putting American first people in, because we need to come. We need to start making some choices, and the Republicans need to start being on the offensive, not defensive, right? They're going to be playing at. I'm worried because next month is the Hermit and the Moon. It's all about isolation, and mental illness is going to be on the rise next month, and mental people are going to be emotional, and there's going to be an increase of cuckoo crazy next month. And what I see is people, the magician, people orchestrating and running, people running with their emotions. The Democrats are going to be making people run off their emotions, and they're going to be playing. So that is the Congress. Let's see about the Republicans. Not the Republicans, the Senate. Okay, let's see the Senate. What's going on with the Senate? And like I said, I'm glad Retta got his channel back. He's on Rumble. I love Retta Law. I love the other one, Robert Gouvet. I love Robert Gouvet. I watch him every day at 7 o'clock, Monday through Friday. Robert Gouvet. I watch him every day. They have banned him, a strike. And I don't understand. So we're going to do, this is the Senate now, and we're going to do the Dems and the Republicans. I don't know about the Senate. Which one did people think? There is... There's not much, which is funny, there's not much like passion behind them. There's not much drive for them, and their words and stuff isn't having people going in, right? And the emotional aspect is not working on these voters that are going to vote Republican, but there's the devil's in the details. So there's going to be some, how can I say, is it going to be like how we watched the 2020 when we were watching, and I was live watching it, and at like 2:30, 3 o'clock, it went, all of a sudden 200 and something thousand votes went from one to the other? Is that what we're going to see? I see some games being played. This is what I'm also seeing at Lee Zeldin. I think Lee Zeldin would have technically won, but the devil's in the details. The game's being played. So I don't know if we're going to win the Senate. We're going to win Congress. I don't know about the Senate. What do you guys think? I don't know about the Senate. There's some games, some mechanisms being played. We're going to see some craziness going on. I'm just going to say, is cheating going to be the reason that this is going crazy between? Is cheating is the cause of what's going on with the Senate right now? Is it cheating? The globalists are involved, right? But they put a truce between the two sides. So the globalists is called for like a truce. Maybe not so much Republicans and Democrats, maybe white hats, black hats, I don't know. To stop the destruction and the chaos. I don't know if we're going to win the Senate. So I see we're going to win Congress, but I don't know if we're going to win the Senate. There's some mechanisms going on, and the globalists are involved. There's some shenanigans going on. I think maybe that if these shenanigans went on, I think some shenanigans are going on. There's a lot of shenanigans. I think it's going to be a clear winner for Congress. Might be a little shady. We might not know right away. We might see some weirdness in regards to the Senate. You guys see what I did about UK. What was it? September 10th, I did it on Liz Truss, and I seen that she was walking away, and I was having a conversation with her. Did you guys see that reading with Liz Truss? And I seen her walking away. I'm just like, you can't just walk away. This is what you manifested. This is what you wanted. You can't just walk away. And she walked away, but she had a choice. I think, like I said before, it's like, be careful what you ask for because you might just get it. I tell magicians all the time, be careful what you ask for because you might just get it, and faster than what you thought you were going to get something. So yeah, there's shenanigans going to be. Let me see if we can kind of see what kind of shenanigans going to be in play. There's some shenanigans going on. And I have a feeling the shenanigans are going on in New York, too. Let's see. Hello, everybody. If you guys have questions or whatever, put it down. And we'll get to it. Let's see. What's going to go on with these upcoming elections? I want at least Eldon. I'm going to go out and do my part. I'm going to vote for him. I'm going to go out there and get up at early 6 o'clock in the morning, probably. It's not even a block away, my voting place. So I'm going to walk right up the street and vote. What's going to go on with these damn elections in November? Yo, the Republicans and the Democrats are working hand in hand, everybody. They are working hand in hand. So I don't want to say Republicans. I'm going to say rhinos. To orchestrating. They're orchestrating the straw house. They are coming together. So this is a deal going, this harmony going on between the rhinos and the Dems. And I guess they said they would rather, lose. The rhinos would rather have a Democrat in party than a America First candidate, basically. They're putting on a show. They're putting on a show. A lot of money is being spent. A lot of money is being passed for. They're all acting like they're kumbaya, like the rhinos, the Republican at the time. Oh, we're all kumbaya. Nah, it's a straw house. It's a straw house. Those rhinos and those Dems are working together. It's the uniparty. It's the uniparty. That's what's in play. That's what we're working with here in New York. That's what we're going to work with in regards to the Senate. They're working together. It's Carrie Lake. I want to see. I know. Did I ever do a reading on Carrie? What is her birth? I'm going to look up her birthday real fast. I want to see what her birth card is real fast. I'm worried about us because of the Senate. There's going to be some shenanigans going on. So, and remember, you can't talk about election irregularities. I can't even speak. My disease process and my freaking cognitive. Can't even talk about anything about because then, therefore, you're an election denier and you're an enemy of the state. Carrie Lake. I like Carrie Lake. I think that the Dems. When's the last time? I gotta wonder. When's the last time New York had a Republican. Was it Pataki? Was he a Republican? I don't remember because I wasn't a Republican then. I was a Democrat. 0823 69. Is that her? She's 69? Wow. Let's see. 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 8, 9, 10, 10, 2. She's the high priestess. Not of this world. She's in this world, but not of this world. She's the high priestess. That's why she has that spiritual energy where people are drawn to her. She's supposed to be doing that. Let me see. Let's see how her election is gonna go. Let's see, Katie Hobbs. Isn't she going against Katie Hobbs? Which nobody wants to debate. I don't think Herschel and Zeldin had a debate. Did they? Hey! Good morning. Oh no, what disease? What disease you talking about? Let's see. Carrie Lake and Hobbs. I didn't look up Hobbs. Let's see. Hobbs, how's she gonna do? My cards fell. Carrie Lake. Okay, Hobbs. She moving away. They're still gonna be fighting, but I see she's leaving. She's changing, going to back the death card, meaning she's changing from what she was into something else, meaning the end of something into something else, and turning things back to what it was once before. So I'm thinking, why aren't they telling me? Let me look at a different thing, because it's telling me it's something weird that just showed up. Let me just see. Let me try the Toph deck. What disease do I have? I have reflex symbiotic dystrophy, which is affected my cognitive. Like my arm can only go up this high. I can lift that up this high, but this arm can only go up that high, and I can only turn my neck this far. This way, I can turn it this way, but this way, I can only turn it this far, and my arm only goes up this far, whereas this one can go all the way up. So it's kind of messed with my as part of the injury I had, from nerve damage I ended up getting from lifting patients, helping my aides and stuff with patients and stuff. I messed up my back, and it caused nerve damage, and it affects my cognitive thought process. Kind of gives me foggy brain, like I'm real foggy. I forget things. Like, true story, yesterday I went to the ATM, right? Went to the ATM, took out money, walked away, forgot I took out money. Thank God nobody came after me. I had to run back and get it. I forgot that I went in there and took out money at the ATM. Who does that? Obviously crazy people like me. So let's see. Carrie Lake and Hobbs, the upcoming election. Who's going to win? Hobbs. There's going to be interference. I'm seeing the moon. Seeing Katie Hobbs. I think there's going to be shenanigans. I don't understand how Katie Hobbs can win. She's not even debating. I see eventually happiness, right? I see there's it says the moon, underhanded things. This is for Carrie Lake. A lot of interference. a lot of interference, which is the Eight of Swords, a lot of interference, a lot of, interference and self-imprisonment, basically. And then the nine, happiness, the nine. So things are going. And then I'm like, we're getting here, happiness, and then the end of that happiness. So is it going to be like, is she going to go in winning and then lose? Because they're both giving me a happiness card, right? So is Katie Hobbs is it gonna look like she won and she didn't actually win? Like they're gonna say, oh, we think Katie has it, and then it's gonna come out to be Carrie Lake? Or is there so much shenanigans going on that they're gonna get called out for it and then shows that Carrie won? I don't know. I think there's gonna be a lot of shenanigans going on. A lot of shenanigans. I think we're going to win the Congress. I think the Senate's up in the air because there's shenanigans. I think New York is a lot of shenanigans. You would think that Carrie Lake would be the forerunner, because Hobbs won't even debate. What is up with this new trend? The Dems are refusing to debate Republicans. It's a new trend. I've never seen this before, just like I never seen an election week before. Even when I was young, I used to stay up with, people and watch the elections. I didn't know nothing about it, but by that night, they used to know who won. Now it's like days later, we wait and wait and wait and wait until people won. I don't understand. Why can't we know that night? I don't know what's shenanigans. I don't know who's going to win because they're both got like a win card. I don't know who's going to win. Carrie Lake and Hobbs. Michigan. Michigan is close to my heart because I have, my brothers are in Michigan. They're in Pontiac. I went to Pontiac Central for a year. It's not even there anymore. They said they closed it down. I remember when I was down in Michigan, I remember when it was like rich. I remember when everybody was thriving. I remember when Detroit was like the place to be. So many people, so many stars, so much fun, and now even my father's block, everybody used to own their house on his block, right? I think there's only 2 people left. The rest of the houses are abandoned. And somebody went and like broke in the houses and took all the copper and stuff out. And it's just like so sad. And then they opened up a gambling, like a big gambling thing in Detroit. And that's where they're spending. Well, poor people ain't got no money. They're already spending it down there at the casino. That's what poor people need, a big old casino. When they used to have shows and stuff downtown. Now, they close all those things. And I had an argument with my cousins because they look at the factories as they're young. Oh, let me tell you. People want to talk about factory and this and that. My father didn't even have seventh grade education, right? He didn't even have a 7th grade education. He worked at GM, made almost $40 an hour, full benefits, wonderful benefits. He also got the benefits where I still to this day have a number where I can buy, I can get any GM. It's the friends and family. You get a number. And that's why all my cars were GM. Because you get, you pay sticker price. You pay like the factory price for it. Where else could you get a job that's paying $40,000 like 10, 15 years ago? 15, 20. I think he retired like 15, 20 years ago. That you can take care of a family and live a good middle class life and go on vacation every year and stuff like that. Not many. Not many. And so when I hear my cousins say, mind you, most of their family, most of their parents worked at GM and they lived middle class lives and they were enjoying it. And for them to say, oh, F the plants, that's slavery. Well, no, it's not, because you have a choice. You can go get you an education, but a lot of people don't. There's a lot of people who don't do well in school. As I got older, I learned. I learned better by watching and observing. I don't learn like hearing somebody or reading a book. So some people aren't made for school. Some people just aren't made. They're made for vocational things. They like to they like to work with their hands and stuff. But now they don't even have that option. You don't even have that option. What question would you like to ask? Why am I the only person that gets treated differently at work? Maybe you got to think. Why is getting treated differently at work? A lot of it has to do with your own emotions. A lot of it has to do with your own ego and own wants, needs, this and that, and you overcoming things. Maybe you have a hard time overcoming things and you kind of stay on it. And it's your own ego and emotionally you can't let go of things. I don't think that it's not you getting treated fairly at work. I think that you just need to end things and keep it pushing. You know what I'm saying? Just sometimes you just got to end things and keep it pushing. I don't see that you like to. I think you like to. You don't have to call a truce. Like, okay, either whether you agree or disagree, with that person, and put it aside and keep it moving. You might think you're doing that, but you're not. You're not really over it. You're holding on to it. You can't emotionally let go of it. You're not ending it. You're not ending it. So and it's making you emotionally. And then they're kind of like, that's why they're treating you differently. Does that make sense to you? All right. Get over it. Keep it moving. Stop putting your emotions involved. Stop bringing your emotions. Let it go. Sometimes just let it go. It's a job. I'm at my job. Let me do my job and keep it moving. Whatever happens at the job, it's not that serious. I'm just going to keep doing my job, and that's it. Sometimes you don't know how to let things go. Okay. You want to talk about that nuclear war, don't you? This would be the month. We're getting out of that energy, thank God, right? This is Putin's month. This is the chariot month. This is, if he was going to do it, it would have been this month, right? Because full steam ahead, damn the consequences. But he didn't. So we've been at war. I don't think the globalists would like to tear up this. They want this world. They just don't want the people in it. So I'm not as concerned about nuclear. We'll look at the cards, but I'm not as concerned about the nuclear, because who the hell wants to own a nuclear wasteland, right? Nobody. These globalists don't want to own a nuclear wasteland. They just don't want all of us on it, right? So I don't think. Let's see. No, I don't think we have to worry. There's too much money involved. They're not about that life. It's not a sword that they want to do. It's just people working on emotions or talking about emotions and just going off an emotion. I think the closest we're getting to is what war is going on now. The spiritual war we're having which is doing more death. I would rather have a nuclear war, just kill us all dead and be done with it. What we're dealing with now is a spiritual, an emotional, a psychological, a physical. It's a whole bunch of different things going on at once. You got people, Looney Tunes outside. People are crazy. We've had walking zombies everywhere. There's people that are, the critical thinking skills have left the building, even in nursing. That was when CV came, and I was talking to nurses, even though I was retired. I have nurses that live across the street from me. I have a daughter that's nurses. I have a sister that's a nurse. I have friends that have been nursing. Remember, I graduated in 99. So their critical thinking skills was gone. And they were looking at me like I was the enemy of the people. And I'm looking at them like they're the enemy of the people. I was like, what happened to your critical thinking skills? You know masks don't work. Why are you walking around with this mask on outside? Anyway, why? Why are you doing this? None of this that we've been taught. This goes against everything we've been taught about viruses and how the best thing for a virus is hand washing, not exchanging bodily fluid. Hand washing is the number one thing in regards to the viruses. Hand washing and not exchanging bodily fluids. Kissing, drinking, what little kids like to do. Here's some for me, some for you. That's why colds and flus go around little kids first, because they're always sharing. Oz and PA, and who's the guy that PA? I'm just worried. Even though Lauren, I'm thinking there's shenanigans going down in this. I think we're gonna have a lot of shenanigans going on in this race. Is Mastriani is also doing it, right? Who's Mastriani is running for the governor of PA, right? I'm up with the Dem and Mastriani for the PA governor. I don't know. The Wheel of Fortune coming up. Many changes. What the hell is going to be going on with our elections? What's going to be? Oh, did you guys see? Something weird is going to be going on in our elections. I don't know what it is. Oz, and who's the guy? Oz Fetterman, is that who he is? I think that because the cards are like giving me weird answers. Like they gave me a definitive answer for Congress. We're going to win the Congress. Republicans are going to win the Congress. But everything else, it's like. Let's see. Oz and Fetterman. Who's the one? Fetterman and Oz. Oz, it depends on what he's willing to do to get it. Is he willing to make a deal with the devil? If that's what he wants, he can get it. Nah. Just like how I talk about Elizabeth Tress. She had a decision to make. We're going to talk about Kanye. She has a decision to make. When she's seen behind that wall, she's like, hell no, this ain't for me. Oz, you were playing little leagues before on TV. You were getting the good stuff. You didn't have to I don't watch him too much, but Hassan Campbell. He had a good video in regards to Kanye. Couple like 4 or 5 days ago he did it. Depends on what door you want to walk through. Oz, you were playing Little League before. You were getting the good stuff. You didn't have to walk through these certain doors. Are you ready to walk through those doors? It's up. Something's going on fishy with this upcoming election. This is the first time it's ever been. Remember last election when I did it, I told you specifically the last time we were doing, I'm like, oh, we're gonna win this. They're not telling. There's something fishy. There's something going on with this election this year. I don't know if there's shenanigans. So Oz can win. Could you imagine Fetterman winning? He's like Biden. But if Oz don't walk through the door, that's up to him. I think Pennsylvania is a state right now, and I think by Biden doing that address that he did in that red in Pennsylvania, it's telling you who's running Pennsylvania. That address he did and how he looked, and the colors, the symbology that was given. It tells you exactly what's going on in Pennsylvania. So Kanye. I agree with a lot of things Kanye says. Some things I think are self-servicing. I always said, if you've looked at my old channel, I've done Kanye for years. I told you before that Kanye was very connected to the other side. I felt a lot of his things. And people used to, I used to do my reading, used to coincide with what he was doing. And it seemed like they used to go coincide. Like when I said he needed to find a spiritual advisor back in the days, he was having a spiritual battle. It wasn't more like psychological, it was spiritual battle. Because you have to realize, for people like Kanye, for lovers, for high priestesses, which is Kanye, Carrie Lake, I just seen, she's one. Some other people, the other side, the other dimension. So there's many different dimensions, right? The closest one to this, there's lost souls on the closest dimension to this, kind of like zombies, right? I visited once. They look like the zombies look like. That's why it was funny when people were doing this whole, remember we were talking about the zombie apocalypse and this matter that was making people be zombies. I was feeling because some of those entities was merging into this dimension. That's why there was a whole thing about the zombie. There was all those zombie shows and all this stuff. Well, so on that side, there's some that are more alert than others. They're kind of lost, right, on that side. And it's right outside ours. It's right outside ours, right? And a lot of lost spirits go to that dimension. They're lost. They get caught up, or an aspect of themselves. Like some people are broken, where just the aspect of themselves is left. Some of these elite people harvest souls. Not only harvest and sacrifice the physical, but also the spiritual, right? And some of their aspects get stuck on this little dimension that's outside of ours. So the problem is some of us shine brighter than the others. So some people that are kind of intuitive, empathic, they shine brighter. And people are just doing their 9 to 5 and just carrying on. So on the other side, they talk that little dimension outside. In all dimensions they talk, but they talk on this little dimension. If you see people that are bright, you go to them. They can help you. Right? So that's why they get bombarded. That's why cleanse is important. You cleanse yourself, spiritually, energetically. Cleanse yourself sometimes. And that's what Kanye has to do sometimes. You got to cleanse yourself. He has to realize that just talking about Jesus and doing that, Jesus needed to be cleansed too. We all need to be cleansed. Sometimes they do baptism bath. That's one cleansing. You might have to do that monthly just to cleanse that energy and re-go. So at that time, he was getting attacked and he didn't realize. So sometimes Kanye doesn't realize what are his emotions and what are those entities' emotions, because I don't think he's realized how connected to that side he is yet. That was the important part of getting him a spiritual advisor. And I do think he has a connection with God. But I also think that he's changed his name, which I think he had to change his name because remember, he made a deal to be as much as he made and to have the woman he had and the money he had to make a deal. So they own part of that, his spirit, a deal. And now he's under Ye. So he's took some of that back. He's took some, can't take it all because they own that. You gave that away, become the superstar. Right? And you're breaking your deal. So that's how come they're kicking you out of everything. You're talking about things you ain't supposed to be talking about. That's why we're taking your wife from you. We're taking your kids from you. We're taking your opportunities from you. And that $6 million is going to start dwindling. Because we give it to you, we can take it from you. So he's changed his name to Ye, thinking that he can get his power, some power back. You can get some, Kanye, but you signed a contract. You signed that contract with the devil. You sold your soul. And you see a lot of stars have done that. Prince did it. He tried to do it too. Prince. Michael Jackson didn't change his name. How many other stars changed their name trying to think that they can take it back? But when Kanye talks about the so-called Jewish people, it's not the Jewish people he's talking about. Nobody has a problem with the Jewish people. Jewish people. There is a group of people that hide behind the Jewish facade. It's a small group that hide behind them because they know where is the perfect place. If you're going to do dirt, right? Where is the best place to do dirt? What is the only community, mind you, it's a religion, but it's the only religion that it's basically a race that you can't talk about, can't even think about. Nothing. Zero. Nothing. One group. Everybody else have at it, but the one group you can't. Can you speak about? Where would you hide? What would you like to be called? You were doing dirt. You are part of these elite. You want to hide. Where do you want to hide at? I know where I would want to hide at. That any illegal things you do or unworthy things or morally corrupt things you do, nobody can talk about it because you have a group in front of you. I'm not talking about people who follow the Torah. Oh, those are wonderful people. I'm talking about the people who are more into the Kabbalah, the Talmud, the mysticism. Not the religion, the mysticism, the occult part. It's totally different. So, I think I agree with Hassan Campbell where Kanye wants his wife back. He wants his wife back. He's telling some truth, but he's not telling all the truths. He's telling some truths that probably we already know. We already knew. But he's throwing a tantrum because he wants his wife back. There's a gnat. You see that gnat flying around? Damn fruit fly. So, but while he's throwing this tantrum, those people are proving Kanye right because they're canceling him left and right. They're canceling him left and right. I like Kanye. Or Ye. Sorry. His new name. I like Ye. Would I vote president for him? No. But I like him. Anybody have any questions on that? I don't know. Did I freeze? It looks like maybe things. Let me see. We just put hello there. Did I freeze? So I don't know because I was talking about the little hat. So I didn't want to get. I have nothing against all the little. I have nothing against them. I think they're wonderful people. I'm not talking about them. We talk about those other ones. The ones like the Queen and them. They're not. They don't even claim as part. They're on a whole different level than us. Yeah, he wanted Chris Cuomo, and Chris Cuomo didn't let him talk. Chris Cuomo was using Kanye as trying to get on the good side. He was trying to use Ye to get on the good side. Oh, that's wrong. Think this and that. It didn't. It didn't. I seen it. It didn't impress me. I think the one that Tucker did impressed me. People think Ye's crazy. He's not crazy. I think it's someone who wants to get out of this deal that he did, that he sold his soul. He wants out. He broke away from his handlers. He's on a run. He broke away from his handlers because if they get him again, they're going to get him back and deprogram it. You know, they're taunting him by, they gave his wife the powers, the elite gave his wife to Pete, and Pete and them was running it and flaunting in front of Ye. Ye's already messed up some. He had some craziness from I don't think he's crazy. I think he's been mind controlled. He's admitted he's been mind controlled. I think this is the programming breaking down, and it's been going on for years, and they keep trying to bring him in and reprogram him and just making it a little worse. I didn't see the Piers Morgan one. The Piers Morgan one, I watched a little bit, but Piers too was too busy trying to overtalk him. Like when you're interviewing someone, let the man speak. I want to hear him. If he's going to throw himself under, I'm going to let him. I'm going to give him the line and keep throwing. Let him, But they want to constantly, to make themselves look better. You're thinking wrong. You're speaking wrong instead of listening to him. He was saying, all these artists, that there's only one group of people that have signed all these artists, all these Black artists. Who's that? One group of people. Just like if you go in the hood, the Arabs do the corner stores. The Jews got all the business, the banks and stuff like that, right? Chinese restaurant. It's a Chinese. The Chinese used to, back in the days, used to have the corner stores. They moved on and just had the restaurants. And the Koreans got the hair, right? So as a people, we know this. So who signs? And just like there was on freaking Hassan Campbell, was it last night? I don't watch him too much, but he's been on my radar for the last few days. I watched a couple. He was someone that claimed that he was molested or abused by Africa Zambada back in the days. I believe it was Africa or one of the members. He showed how, what was this guy's name? He was a top executive, a top person. He owns one of these record labels. He was on the Breakfast Club, and he is of the little hats. And he said, they were talking about music and how, music used to, now the music seems to talk about just killing people and drugging and this and that. And you said you don't believe in that. Charlemagne, which I don't care for them, were like, well, that's a kind of contract. He's like, but it's my pockets. I need to make money. I have business, so I'm okay. Just like how Kanye said that they are making money off of the negativity of what the R&B, and there's not even R&B anymore, that the hip hop is throwing out there. They are the ones that are making it, whereas the black population is killing themselves and the kids are killing themselves, and they're doing all this because of what is being put out there in the media. So, and the guy was like, well, I got to make my money. And Charlemagne was like, see, that's what Kanye was talking about. You're making money off of the destruction of the black race. And I forgot who was that. He wasn't David Geffen. It was another like big person. It wasn't Tommy Mottola either. It was another one of them big ones. But yeah. So I believe and then he made a point, Kanye, on Drink Champs. Noriega, I understand why he took it down, but don't act like you are that guy that's still in the hood when you're not. You are accustomed to making this money. You're old now. You're not ready to fight no battles. I understand that. Be real about it, but don't go into the interview saying, yo, you can speak what you want. I'm going to stand behind you 10 toes down when you're not about that life. And we've seen that real quick. What was I talking about? Yeah, Michael Jackson called. They all do. But the problem is that Kanye has buyer's remorse. And you became this billionaire. And I understand you have buyer's remorse. And I love Ye. I love him. And I believe I think he could tell more. I think he should tell more. Tell it all. If you're really regretful. But what did you have to do? He talked about a little bit of what he had to do. He says if some pictures of him come up, of him having sex with a goat, he don't care. If you watch that interview, that's what he said. So, he's got buyer's remorse. The programming is breaking down. All this stuff is breaking down. Remember how Britney was? Britney is totally gone. Nobody's home. Like, we've been fighting, like Britney, they don't even want Britney anymore. They don't care. That's why they're letting her go. They have her image. They can still sell her image and stuff, but Britney is gone. Britney is like, knock, knock, nobody's home. There's nothing beyond those eyes. They have programmed her so much and reprogrammed her that she is a shell of a person she once was. Kanye got to be careful. They're going to do the same thing to him. He does, yeah, he has FU money, but that FU money is going to go real quick. Yeah, the rituals. What else did Kanye tell us? Be about it. Tell us what you really did to get that $9 million or however many $1 billion you had, and that wife, and all that. What doors did you have to walk through? What rituals did you have to do? What gods did you have to worship? Because the God that you worship then isn't the God that you worship now. And can you break a contract with the devil once you make it? Can you break it? I don't know. That's not a ritual that I want to go and research and learn. Because most of us wouldn't make a contract with the devil. Most of us don't want something that bad that we would do that. I mean, I guess if you want something that bad, you do it. But I don't want nothing that bad. I was a foster kid. I don't want nothing that bad. I've had nothing at times, not even parents. So there's nothing that I want that bad. Man, listen. Yeah. Britney Spears is a shat. She can't even remember. She used to be an awesome dancer. You look at her on Instagram dancing. I don't know what the hell she's doing. I don't know what she's doing, but she's not on rhythm. It's like she's gone. What she talks about doesn't make. She's gone. Knock knock. Nobody's home. You look in her eyes. It's like a lost and confused. And Kanye, I wonder how long they're going to have him like that. And if Kanye, he ran away from his handlers, it's either the handlers get him back in control or he's going to be going bye-bye too. When you get that way, and just like Anne Heche, on the same day, did it happen on the same day? The black nurse and Anne Heche, both cars going full steam ahead to a fiery demise. Was that me, or was that the same day for both of them? I'm still like, I'm looking at the laws of logic and of chance. She's in a cult. Who's in a cult? Madonna has been in a cult. Madonna is a high freaking priest of the Kabbalah. She's been in a cult. Madonna has lost. She sold her soul, her uterus, her vagina, her brain, everything to the other side. She's been gone. She's gone. She probably sold her kids trying to stay relevant. And did you see the Candace Owens Black Lives Matter George Floyd, why did I say George Foreman? George Floyd thing? I was amazed at how much money that they gave to trans. I don't have anything about trans people. I don't care if you want to be trans. I don't care. I grew up in the gay bar. Trans people don't bother me, but don't bring it into the school. Don't bring it to the kids. That's for you in the bar and you at home. I don't care what you do. Don't force it on the kids. That's my whole thing. Don't force it on the kids, right? But did you see how much Black Lives Matter was given to trans people? Not a black, nothing. Not no neighborhood for not no inner cities after school programs or community centers for black kids. Any of that. It all went to trans. But I told people from the beginning, I said Black Lives Matter on their page was to break down the patriotic family. That was their goal. That's what they said on their, basically to take the fathers out of the family. I don't know what we're going to do on these upcoming elections. I see a lot of shenanigans in play, and that's scary because I think that we are on the verge. I think people are getting sick and tired of being sick and tired. And I know I'm getting sick and tired of being sick and tired. It doesn't make no difference how intuitive or psychic or whatever you are. Sometimes you're just tired. And they keep cheating. They keep doing all this stuff and getting away with it. People are going to be sick and tired of being sick and tired. It's like these people have lost their mind. And everybody's okay with these crazy people and these people losing their minds. I've never seen it. Oh, I wanted to talk about, did you guys see? It was on the, what is that? Do I have on here? Is it the Daily Mail? The Daily Mail, which is what, based out of the UK. They did, I think it was like 2 weeks ago, did an article in regards to the scientists wanting to make their own fetuses, harvest them in artificial wombs to harvest them. Grow them in artificial wounds to about 6-7 weeks to harvest them. First, I'm thinking, huh? They want to clone and make fetuses and put them in artificial wounds just to kill them and harness them, stem cells or whatever else they need. Pretty soon there'll be hearts and livers and this and that. I was like, what the freak? Is it because people are waking up and don't want abortions anymore? I worked at Planned Parenthood when I was 22 as a nurse. I look back now, I was one of them blue-haired libtards in my 20s. Sorry, I was. I thought I was helping people, right? I look back and be like, oh my God. I didn't even get to see this stuff because none of the nurses would deal with it. We had a medical assistant that was in charge of counting the pieces and stuff, making sure everything was removed. We didn't see any of that. The nurses refused. We only had one doctor that would perform it. Every other doctor refused. They would do the prenatal, they would do the GYN, but they refused that. So are these people, because they're no longer getting that vast supply from these facilities, it's no longer enough that now they want to make their own fetuses because they can't depend on the population anymore, that they want to make their own to harvest them? What kind of sick are you to want to make babies, to only let them grow for so much, to harvest them, and then to throw them away? Not even having sex and getting pregnant by accident. This is that you're actually, see, some scientists are cuckoo crazy. You can't let these, just because you can do something doesn't mean necessarily you should do something. I used to talk about back when they were making these flu vaccines, way back in the days. I was the nurse that used to say, hey, y'all messing with viruses. Because I remember what they did with the freaking penicillin and the antibiotics. That's why we got MRSA and VRE. Because people and the germs and the bacteria got so super strong that antibiotics no longer work. That your body and these basic antibiotics, because we were giving out so many people's giving antibiotics for everything. For everything. We stopped having our body fight things. So your body can fight some illnesses and some bacteria. Your body can fight it on its own. You should only take antibiotics when stuff starts turning green or yellow. That's like, there's a little infection. Your body's having a hard time processing it. But back in the days, the doctors used to give you a damn antibiotic for everything. Then all of a sudden, MRSA came up. MRSA was the first one to come up, which was hard to treat. That the antibiotics wasn't touching it. They had to find these other antibiotics, super strong antibiotics, to kind of get to these MRSA. Now the drugs that they use for the MRSA ain't strong enough. That people are getting immune to them. Guess what they have now is VRE. And VRE is some nasty. MRSA is some nasty shit. But VRE is even worse. That's because they were given out. So I remember that. So now when they started messing with these flu vaccines and started experimenting, let's just give you this one for this year, that one. I said, are they crazy? I said, next thing you know, they're going to get all these. They're going to be super viruses coming out. Look what we got now. We're getting these super viruses, and they made this virus in the lab. They keep playing. God don't want you messing with certain things. Leave shit alone. These scientists, there's some good things scientists do, but some things scientists leave that shit alone. Yeah, MRSA ain't no joke. MRSA gets down in the bone, and the treatment is worse. The treatment is horrible because we don't have any antibiotics. So what they're giving them is vancomycin. And this shit is nasty. Vancomycin is horrible. And if you can't get rid of it with vancomycin, and that's what VRE is, vancomycin resistant. So the germs of the MRSA got so strong that vanco no longer works. So now you are immune to vanco. So now you got the VRE, and God knows they don't got nothing to fix that. Yeah, MRSA ain't no joke. MRSA. It ain't no joke. And that's from the germs getting, because you were constantly giving them, they built up an immunity against the penicillin and the zithromycin and all that. They built up because you kept giving it to them, and the germs got stronger and stronger and stronger. So now you had to do vanco, and I bet you when he was on the vanco, that vanco is horrible. That vanco is horrible on them. It's you know how like they do when someone has cancer and they're doing chemo, and chemo treatment is worse than sometimes the actual cancer, because the treatment is rendering you like your immune system down and stripping you of everything. That's what vanco is doing. Vanco just messes up your organs. It's like it's horrible. So and we keep letting these freaking crazy scientists do all types of things. So now that they want to open up their own little places and to make little fetuses and artificial wounds so they can harvest them. What do you think about that? That is a crazy thought. For them to even write about it and for people not to be up in arms is crazy. So not only did you want the abortion where people are doing it, where they're accidentally having sex, and mind you, there's so much birth control nowadays that and so much preventative. It's not like it was 30, 40 years ago when it wasn't. I still believe, I still don't think that after 12 weeks you should have you should have an abortion. I don't even understand how all these people are coming up. I mean, if you have the Plan B shot that you could, you have Plan B, not the shot, the pills. You got all these different birth control that wasn't available, Shit, they give it to your kids and you don't even know about it. And that was when I was in my 20s. They were giving the kids in high school a card where they could go to Planned Parenthood without your knowledge, the parents' knowledge. They were getting it in school. They could get birth control, abortions, gynecology, medicine without your advice, without your knowledge, or without your consent, parents. And the school was giving it to them. All right. So what else do we want to talk about before I go? Do we need to do any other readings? So I think there's a lot of shenanigans. The cards aren't doing clear winners. I'm sorry, because there's a lot of shenanigans going on. The only one I seen clear is I think I don't want Horseshoe to win. Horseshoe, whatever her name is. And I want Katie Lake to win. But they're saying her win and Hobbs win. So I got to understand why they're saying they're both winning. They're saying initially Hobbs, but then Katie. So I don't understand. I think there's shenanigans going on. Okay, who's running for? You're saying Alaska. Who am I looking for in Alaska? Yeah, you helped build I worked at one. I thought I was doing a good thing. And now I look back and I was just like, what the hell? And is she, what is she running for? Senate? Mowalski. Is she gonna win? I don't think it's going to be right away that we find out. I don't think it's going to be right away that we find out. I think it's going to be on TV. We say, look, she's going to hold her ground. We're going to be waiting for a decision to be made. You know, people are going to rally behind her. I don't think it's. Doesn't Alaska have that weird system? I don't know. It's not clear. There's don't they have that weird judicial system? I'm not judicial election system now in Alaska where uh you have to vote 1, 2, 3, your first three picks, and then yeah, I don't think it's going to be a clear winner with that either. That's what it's saying. It's just saying they're not going to listen back to what I said. I don't remember, but listen back. There's no clear. I don't know. I don't know if she's going to win. It's not telling me. It's just saying it's telling me a story about what's going on. I don't think we're going to find out that day. I think there's too much shenanigans going on. I think there's too much shenanigans still going on. I don't think we did our job and fixed this election season since 2020. I think they're still playing shenanigans. I think there's a deal between the rhinos and the Dems that are. I know we're winning Congress, but Senate, I don't know. There's too many games being played. Anything else we want to know before I go? All right. Well, I'm going to go. I've been on here for an hour and 46 minutes. Masters and Kelly. Masters. Who's Masters? Blake Masters? All right. That's the last one. Masters and Kelly. I'm telling you that you guys want to know. I'm telling you there's shenanigans going to be happening. So, and it's the month of the hermit, emotional. I don't know if they're trying to kick off something next month or what. They're gonna be playing on people's emotions next month. This is the month of isolating you and making you go crazy. That's what next month is. That's what next month is. And to have your elections in the month of energy like that is a little crazy. So Masters and Kelly. I think he's going to win. I think Masters is going to win. I think Masters is going to win. That was clear. Will Biden be impeached? Are you looking next month? Is he going to be impeached? Not if the Dems. I know for certain that we're going to take the Congress, but the Senate shenanigans is going on, and the rhinos and the Dems, they got together and made some deals, and there's shenanigans going on. We never fixed our voting systems. I got to do next month. We'll do Biden's monthly right now, and then I'm done. So Biden next month is the Hermit and the Moon. So let's see what's going on next month for Biden. The Hermit and the Moon, which is, we're going to see what's going on in his mind, his administration, and his home. Well, we already learned Jill's taking over the big guy position. There's a lot of things changing on him. He's still waiting for things. He's trying to balance things. A lot of different things going on with him in the administration. They're feeling success next month. So next month they are happy. They are feeling success. They're whatever they plan, they're bringing their agenda through, and they're still putting stuff in the media and stuff to inflame our emotions and to make us emotionally all over the place. The family is still going full steam ahead. Damn the consequences. There's some people that are being isolated, but there's deals being made in the family. The administration is happy next month. So if the administration is going to be happy next month, that means the people are going to be happy. We're thinking that we got this in the bag. We don't have it in the bag. So you don't have it in the bag. If you're poll watchers, watch. Even like last time when the poll watchers was complaining, nothing happened. So even if we're watching them, nothing's happening. Like if we watch them and report, this person's doing this, they're what's gonna happen? Nothing. Nothing is happening. So what did we do since 2020? What did we do? We didn't do anything. I think we got to Congress. I think there's shenanigans being played in the Senate. I think the administration is happy next month. And if they're happy, we're not. Next month is the month of the Hermit and the Moon. People are going to be psychotic next month. There's going to be mental illness next month. People's emotions are going to be all over the place. So, what is going to give people the most amount of emotional craziness? This election. Next month is going to be something, you guys. So buckle in. Know that what they're doing is to cause a reaction for you next month, to keep you isolated, make you feel isolated. And just try to hold it. Don't let yourself go crazy. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. You know? It's not worth it. We chose to be here at this time to watch all this craziness go down and be part of it. So just look at it as we're a part of it, but we're not in it. All right? We just got to be like, okay, we can do what we can. Let's try to do it. But we can't let them make us go crazy. We can't let them make us go too crazy, because we gave, when we were talking with God, we're like, yeah, we want to be there. Because you remember, a lot of people exited out. We're still here playing the game. So who's going to win? You know? We're going to win. We just got to... All right, you guys. I'll talk to you later. Love you all. Love you all. Thank you for spending these 2 hours with me. I have no idea what I talked about. Hopefully I made sense. Our upcoming election season, just be prepared. It's not going to be what we're hoping for. You know, it's the Hermit and the Moon. Look that up. Look up Hermit. Look up the Moon in regards to the tarot. All right? And see what you have to deal with. So realize it's all for your to mess with your emotions. But thank God. You know what else? So there's the Hermit and the Moon. But December is the Magician. So anything is possible in December. We can make up our own rules. We can manifest anything in December. All right? So let's think about that. All right, talk to you later. Bye. Okay, I'm going to try to do more live readings. All right, I'm going to try. I mean, really, I'm going to try to come live. We can have a chat. We can talk. We could do personal readings, other type of readings, whatever. If you want your own personal reading, contact me at intuitiveretta@gmail.com. All right? And if you would like to donate to this channel, you'll see the links below. Talk to you guys later. Love you all. Bye-bye.